2019. This is an online summit for e-commerce sellers. Our goal at Elite Conference is to help each and every e-commerce seller scale their business and achieve success. We've had sessions on listing optimization, product sourcing, and more advanced topics such as Amazon sponsored ads and brand protection. I'm Ankitha Nagarajan. I head the customer success team at SellerApp, and we have a very special guest today, Brij Purohit. He is the co-founder and chief product officer at SellerApp. Hey, Brij, thank you for joining us today. Happy to have you here. So today we'll be talking about Amazon sponsored ads and its future. As you probably know, Amazon has been releasing more and more new features such as display ads, history, product targeting, etc. Amazon's ad platform is the third biggest ad platform in the world, and it's one of the cash cows. So it's safe to say that Amazon will be focusing on it extensively in the future as well. So before that, let's take a look at what Amazon sponsored ads are. So if you're already selling on Amazon, then you know the struggle to get organic visibility. So you need to achieve a certain momentum, sales momentum, to rank on page one. And without ranking on page one, there's no way that you'll get any sales. So Amazon has come up with a brilliant solution to this. You just have to pay for every click that you get on your ad. You have to pay Amazon. So essentially, you can reach out to 62 million Amazon customers by just paying for clicks. So this is brilliant. Brij, do you think sellers should ever stop running PPC campaigns after their business gets stabilized?
So if you look at what you said, right, that's very true that Amazon has provided a platform where you have like 62 million customers and you can display their ads and they buy the product and you get the sales right at the end of the day. And so if you look at the way typically Amazon works is that they are not charging you for the visibility. They are kind of lending the customers and you pay just for the clicks. So these are the kind of benefits, right? And if you are just paying for the clicks, you are not paying for visibility as such. Then in that way, I would say that ideally you should never stop these advertisement campaign, but rather you should focus on your, I would say, like growth-based advertisements, right? So just to give you the example for this particular thing, right? So let's say if I launch a campaign and I set 10 to 15 keywords for my initial launch campaign, and I see that over the period of time, I started running the ads in a couple of months, I am on a page one for most of these keywords, right? So then ideally what I should do that my revenue is increasing because I am getting more visibility as I am on a page one and people are buying my product, then I should get some part of the revenue as I would say as a investment to the growth-based things, right? So I can target maybe the long tail set of keywords or maybe the keywords which I have not initially targeted in my initial launch phase. I can target for those keywords and get more visibility. So ideally for a seller, they should never stop it. It should be more growth-based advertisement to get the more share of the traffic.
Very well said. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
So how big do you think this opportunity is?
So we are talking a lot about Amazon's key. Okay, Amazon is now the third biggest platform as an advertisement platform after Google and Facebook, right? So if you look at, there are two main components in advertisement is that the customers and the clicks, right? So if you look at Amazon now is, I would say the biggest product search ad platform, as in product search platform, not just ad, but as in product search platform. And the number of the product specific searches are more on Amazon as compared to Google, right? So what does this mean is that you should be on Amazon if you want to selling product to the customers, right? If you want to sell the products. So in terms of, okay, so if the two main components, customers and clicks. So if you look at in terms of opportunity, Amazon has 54% share of all the product searches as compared to Google, right? So this shows that they have surpassed Google in terms of product searches, right? And 66% of the Amazon shoppers start new searches on Amazon. So when I say new searches, it's specifically if you have an intent of buying a product. So for example, if you want to buy a surfboard, if you are doing a search on the Google, most probably you will search something like how to surf or these kind of stuff. But if you are doing on Amazon, most probably your intent is to buy, right? So 66% of Amazon shoppers who has a buyer intent start their searches on Amazon.com. And 74% of Amazon shoppers start specific searches on Amazon rather than having a long tail, that kind of specific stuff, right? So if you look at in advertisement campaign, you will see more conversions for a specific searches rather than a long tail, right? That might you would have also seen in when we interact with these customers, right? And when we say clicks, then obviously, if you look at Amazon, they have like billion of products, right? And you should be on top couple of pages, I would say, or maybe I would say the top first page to get more sales, right? And top 3% of Amazon search results capture 64% of all clicks, right? So that's why the advertisement comes into picture. So Amazon generally have a real estate provider at top of the search that is for brand specific thing, and at like first couple of 2-3 searches which are sponsored ads, right? And if you look at so 81% of all clicks on Amazon are on page one, right? So this shows as in terms of opportunity, you should be on page one, and you have to advertise to get your sales momentum going, right?
Wow, that is very insightful and a lot of data, a lot of numbers. So one of the things that you were talking about was specific searches, right? What exactly do you mean by that?
So specific searches, let's say if you have an intent of buying a product, then you will go and do that particular search on Amazon.com, right? So, and if you have that is specific searches, and if you have something which is more about understanding the product or the domain, then most probably your searches will be on Google or maybe on Bing or other search platforms, right? So let's say I gave the example, for example, let's say if you want to buy the surfboard, most probably your intent of buying surfboard search will end up on Amazon.com. But if you want to learn how to surf, or if you want to understand that which type of surfs are right and these kind of things, right? So then most probably you will end up on doing search on Google.com.
Interesting. And I completely agree with you. So every day Amazon ad platform is like growing, and as we know, Amazon's advertising business grew around 36% year over year in Q2 of 2019, right? So this brings us to the topic of the session today. What do you think is the future of sponsored ads?
So that's rightly said, right? So 36% year-on-year growth till like Q2 2019, right, for Amazon. And I think last quarter they have made 3 billion. That too is an off-holiday quarter, which means that there was no Prime Day, no specific holiday seasons in that time, right? And if you look at one more interesting thing which Amazon has recently did is that acquisition of Sysmic, right? So Sysmic is an ad server and creative optimization as a creative ad optimization platform. So Amazon has recently acquired Sysmic. Now, what does this shows is that if you look at the three main sections where we can see Amazon will be doing a lot more in terms of development and rolling out the features will be personalization. Second, diversification of reach, and third will be providing more granular control to the customers as and to the sellers, right? So what does this mean is that definitely Amazon is going to make more money, because if they are providing more options to explore, obviously people have to spend more money on exploring these features and then optimizing all of that, right?
Can you elaborate a little more on what personalization is?
So if you look at the Sysmic, right, so their objective is to provide more specific user targeted content which stays relevant for the longer duration in terms of your customer funnels, right? So personalization is, let's say if you can bundle two products together, which there are the higher chances that customer will buy, right? And that may be from your product line, or there can be an option that you can club the other product, which will increase the chances of your product getting sales, right? So that is something around personalization. Other personalization content can be, you can do the demographic based, age based types things, right? So demographic and age basis, let's say if you have a product which is for the women in age of 25 to 35. So currently these controls are not there. And if you do the comparison of the other platform, ad platform, for example, Google and Facebook, there you get these kind of demographic based as an interest based ad campaign creations, right? So this is something where definitely Amazon will be providing the options for the sellers to run those campaigns. And definitely this will help in getting more conversions, right? So there is one interesting story around it. So if you look at They said there was a violin store in Italy, right? And so that was a retail shop, right? So and when they started selling these violins, so they were doing the decent sales. There are two more stores open in the same area, and one of these stores marked this as in the best violin in the Italy, right? And the other store, as in their headline or the punchline was the best store in the block, and the third store was having the punchline that this is the best store in the world, as in this is the best. We create the best violins in the world, right? So, what do you think is more targeted to the customers, or which is something which is more appealing to their audiences, right?
I would say the third one.
Which says that it's the best one in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
No?
So it's very subjective. Definitely, I would say the person. So if you look at this is retail shop, right? So for them, something which is more relevant to my use case, which is more relevant to my current needs, and which is best in my circle, right? So something. So the what we have seen and what this story says that the most sales the store which got was who has a punchline or who was selling to the customer with a punchline saying that this we create the best violence in the block, right? Because it is more specific, more personalized, and targeted to the audience, right? Rather than having it very broad and saying that okay, best violence in the world. So these kind of control, if Amazon is going to provide your searches, and you will be targeting more specific to the customers, and definitely you will be seeing good results as in more sales, having these things, right?
Interesting. So what you're saying is Amazon's platform is soon going to become more like what Facebook is doing or what.
Not exactly completely in terms of what Facebook and Google is
So
doing, but something which provides more options for personalizing the content and providing more options for the sellers to target the specific audiences.
okay. So the second point that you were talking about was around diversification. Can you talk more about that?
So diversification of reach, right? So currently, if you look at, let's say we have something Amazon has recently released that too in a beta, like a sponsored display ads, right? So sponsored display ads you can run based on views. So engaging customers who has viewed, let's say the detail page of your advertising product or the similar product, and you can set a some time frame, okay, in last 30 days, right? So these are views based. Currently, Amazon is experimenting with this, right? And if you look at ad placement currently, Amazon provides currently the ad placement on Amazon.com. You see the product display page, there is a sponsored section, or maybe on a search page, right? But Amazon still have a lot of properties and third-party properties where they can push your ads, right? Based on these diversification of reach as a concept of diversification of reach, right? So there can be something which Amazon will be definitely looking forward to provide as a feature is an interest based, right? So engaging audiences who has done specific activities on Amazon demonstrates or based on the Amazon understand, okay, these are the interest based activities for this product or for this category, and you can do specific targeting on the Amazon.com or different their third party properties, or maybe you can do based on, let's say, something coupon and promotion kind of interest based activities, right? And the same thing can be done based on the product. So product, if I say product specifically means, let's say if let's say buyer or the customer has shown interest or has browsed the similar product or the complementary product, and you can promote these on and do the ad placement on Amazon.com or third party properties, their third party properties, right? And the same can be on the category based, right? So if the customer shows interest in the complementary category or on the category in which you are selling, so you can increase or you can diversify the reach to your audiences, and it can be more specific and targeted, right? Interest based, product based, and the category based with your display ads.
Wow, that'll take the Amazon sponsor ads to the next level as to start doing that.
Right. And if you, and the third thing which I was mentioning about that providing more granular controls, right? So if you say, okay, it's getting more personalized, more audience specific, they are providing more diversification of reach, then it will become as in then the Amazon has to provide more control to the end sellers, right? Either through Vendor Central or Service Central, so that they can make more learned decisions and they can look more deep into the data, understand, optimize campaigns, optimize that their targeting, so that they reach out to the right audience, right? So if you look at, let's say, if you go and search on Amazon for any specific product, let's say it's a headphones, right? So you can find an headphone from the range of $10 to, if you look at Odyssey, $4,000, right? So, but for all of these products, the target customer is different. And if they are running ad just on a keyword, let's say headphones for something, let's say headphones with Bluetooth or wireless headphones, then it's going to all of these audience. You are not narrowing down, you are not drilling down your funnel, right? So with this, definitely Amazon is going to provide more control to have more optimized campaigns and more specific campaigns.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So I'm also curious about video ads, right? So video is a huge part of general advertising. Do you think Amazon is going to come up with something to do with this?
So video advertisement, definitely. If you look at, we have seen in advertisement space, we have seen a lot of conversions if you do influencer marketing or influencer based video ads, or in general, if you run advertisements on your other platform, media platform, right? YouTube and all. But if you look at the best, I would say the benefits which the customers or the sellers can get, I would say it will be not high ROI driven, but it will be more brand focused. So if you let's say if you are in a category where anyone and everyone is running normal sponsored ads, right? So in that space, definitely your brand ads can put you in a different bucket. They can be more appealing to the customers. So ROI, we have to still see that how ROI comes into this in these kind of campaigns, but it will be definitely more specific to the brands. So if you have a budget for your brand awareness and these kind of things, right? So in that space, definitely video can add value. If you want to do a different set of campaigns, or if you want to reach out to an audience for a longer duration, in terms of more retention than as specific to normal sponsored ads, right? In that case, definitely video ads can add value.
Great. Awesome. So,
or if you say that, let's say if you want to fill your top of the funnel, right? So in video ads, definitely the ROI things which we have to look at how they convert. But if you say that, okay, I want to fill my top of the funnel, then definitely video ads can help you, and you can narrow down your funnel further by using, let's say, a sponsor display, targeted or interest-based or view-based ads.
Right? Yeah, definitely. So do you think there are more exciting features in the pipeline?
Definitely. So if you look at, so currently what we have discussed is more about having the specific controls or the three broad bucket which we discussed, right? Like personalization, your diversification of reach, and providing more granular controls, right? So in the same line, if you look at, let's say, something which definitely, if you compare with other ad platform also, something which is which Amazon will be definitely looking into will be the scoring and KPI based rollouts, right? So scoring and KPI based is, let's say if I'm running a campaign, right? And if I want to launch, and if this campaign is for launching a new product line, right? So definitely in that particular campaign, and let's say if I have a campaign which is growth focused, right? So in that particular case, what will happen? My KPIs for this campaign will be completely different than the KPIs for my growth phased campaign, right? So now how Amazon is going to compare these two different things. So definitely they are going to provide the KPIs. So you can provide the inputs to the Amazon. Okay, this campaign is in particularly for my growth phase, or this campaign is particularly for my launch phase. And your KPIs or your scoring will be based on that. And there can be an overall scoring at an account level, which shows that how your account health is. So the way they show for your inventory side, right? So how is your account health? So something around the same lines around your advertisement space. So if you have a budget of this, and if you want to achieve, let's say, if you want to launch a campaign, and if you want to achieve Y goal, then overall how your campaign performances is, and there can be a score and the KPI associated with it. Okay. And there is something which definitely Amazon will be looking into is recommendation, because this space is definitely require a lot of I would say hand holding and domain knowledge, that how you can optimize campaign, what needs to be done to target you, to find the, let's say, new set of keywords, or to target the keywords which are your brand specific or which are required, which can help you in conversions, right? So if you say recommendation, definitely Amazon can come up with the features which will show you campaign specific or at account level different recommendations And recommendations can be, for example, let's say you need to optimize listing of your product to get more conversions, right? Or you need to do you need to do further keyword research for this particular category or for this particular product line. Right? So these kind of recommendations we can see definitely a rollout on these two things as an scoring and your recommendation side. So one interesting thing which Amazon can definitely roll out is a custom template based creative ads, right? So which means so if you look at the real estate which Amazon is providing at the top of the searches, right? And at an section where you have a display ad as a product display page, and there is a section called sponsored product. Right? So Amazon can definitely experiment with the different templates for these real estate which they are providing, or they can come up with a more real estate at top of the search or at some other place, right? So definitely Amazon can provide you more creative ads creation templates. So if you look at the way on Google, there is like you can create your template, see how it looks on a page, and you can tweak in the real time. You can tweak your title and these things, and or your price. You cannot change pricing, but if you change the title, you can see that what's the optimal length of characters it's coming when the user is viewing on the mobile or when the user is viewing on the web, right? So these kind of custom templates is definitely something which Amazon can roll out in near future to give more conversions if we are talking more about personalized content and more of diversification of reach, right? And there is something which definitely, if you look at currently overall in the industry wise, we are seeing that Alexa and the voice based stuff is getting more attraction, whether it's Samsung's Bixby or Google Voice or Alexa, right? So definitely there can be a specific searches or Alexa based campaign which can help to give more conversions there as in voice based conversion. So there can be a different specific set of campaigns which user can run and see that if the customers is buying through Alexa, then they can bid differently. If the customer is buying through mobile, then they can bid differently. If the customer is buying through web, then there can be a different set of bids which they can do, right?
It's interesting to know that Amazon might be
Right.
releasing custom templates, right? And one of the so currently Amazon allows only images and videos. So do you
Right.
think moving forward it'll start supporting more formats?
Definitely. So if we talk about providing an option to the sellers to have a different templates for running ads, definitely there can be a possibility that Amazon will provide the option to show the GIFs or the small videos and 360 view for the product, right? So in categories like clothing, it can be a very helpful to understand that how product look instead of going into the detailed page and looking into different images, right? And there can be an option of providing a small video, maybe 3-4 second small videos or the GIFs, which will help to understand the product and which can help to get more clicks. Conversions will definitely depend on the product and the quality and the reviews and other things, right?
Awesome. Yeah, actually, a couple of months back, I'd noticed that Amazon was allowing just for thumbnail images for certain categories.
Right, right. I have also observed in I think in watches
Yeah,
section as in luxury section, the Amazon was experimenting with the GIFs. Right?
yeah,
That's true.
yeah. It would be
That's true.
interesting to see how it
Yeah, but that was
pans
into, I
out.
think that was into your product display pages. But definitely this is something which Amazon can experiment with ads also.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
Okay, next.
Okay. So one interesting thing which Amazon can definitely look into rolling out in near future is social targeting, right? So currently, if you look at if I buy some interesting product and I want to share with my friends, so currently the only way is that I go share those links with my friends on other channels, right? It can be through WhatsApp or something like that, right? But as in platform, integrated platform, if I buy something, if I want to share, if I want to get feedback, if I want to get recommendation on the product, this is something which definitely Amazon can look into. And there are the platform which are doing already good in this social e-commerce kind of stuff, right? So if you look at like a couple of companies which recently got funding from Y Combinator into this space, which is specifically target social e-commerce, right? So in this, if I want to buy a product and if I want to get recommendations from my friend, so something this can be integrated in a platform because Amazon definitely is the biggest e-commerce platform, right? Just to help customers to be on a single platform to get the recommendation from friends and uh, uh, make more learned decisions and make more aware buying rather than just buying and then returning products, right? Something which definitely Amazon will look into in the near future will be chatbots. And if you look at that, can be used in both ways, for buying and for customer support. So currently, only way a buyer can report for a product, or if they want to return, is just to return and give the feedback in the note section that okay, this is product which he was not looking for, the size was not good, was not correct, or if you have the problem with the product, right? So, but if we have this integrated solution where chatbots can replace support system, then obviously seller can interact with that customer who has shown interest in buying that product. And if they have any prior clarifications, or if they want to know more about the product, or if they want to know more about the size and the colors or the availability, or when the product can be delivered, so all of these can be handled through the chatbot. So currently, if you look at on product description pages, there is something called question and answer sections, right? So this is mostly, let's say if I want to know more about a product, I just put a question and it goes to the community of the people who, or the community of the customers who have bought this product, or to the sellers who are selling these products, right? So say it's something similar, but more in a real-time way, that I can go and chat with these customers, and that the same chatbot sections can be used for solving the problems which customers are having with the product, let's say installation part or how to use part. So these can be the part of an integrated solution with the chatbots. And mobile is specific, something which definitely, if you look at the usage of the mobile and the internet is drastically increased, right? Even in the countries where Amazon is recently launching, right? So definitely mobile-based optimization and mobile-based targeting can be one interesting thing which Amazon will definitely roll out. If you look at other ad platforms, let's say if it's Facebook or if it's an Google AdWord, they provide you the option when you are creating campaigns, whether you want to show on which mobile devices, right? And there is a screen sizes also which you can select. Okay, I just want to show my ads till the screen size where this is the iPad or it's in tablet, right? I don't want to show on a phone. Right? And if you want to be specific only on the phone, that also you can do vice versa. Right? So this mobile based optimization and the mobile based campaigns will be definitely interesting thing which customers which definitely as in sellers want, and which will provide more control and conversions for the customers.
Interesting. Well, that was definitely interesting, and we've already seen a lot of customers use some of the points that you talked about, like social targeting, but not within Amazon, but also chatbots. So it will be interesting to see how Amazon will, capitalize on all of these channels and bring it under its umbrella. And one of the, whenever I talk to the customers, one of the things that I usually run into is um, the reporting system, right? It's currently like really basic. There are a few reports that you can utilize. Do you think Amazon will come up with something more advanced?
So this is a very interesting and a right question to ask at this point of time, right? So I also have talked to a lot of customers, and what I have seen that these reports which you can download from Amazon are very basic, and they give a very limited set of data, right? So there is so let's say the keyword and corresponding data, right? So you have to be really data driven to understand it, right? And your mindset should be completely into understanding the data and then taking decision based on that. And that too, you have to experiment with a couple of times with the different keywords or with the different values which you get, right? And there is definitely attribution which happens after 2 days, 7 days, 14 days, right? So if you look at recently, Amazon has released something called product attribution, ads attribution thing, right? So this is something on the same lines to provide more data to the customers in the form that it's easily understandable, and they can do more optimization based on that, right? So I would say in report sites, definitely Amazon is looking forward into the sites where they can give you the data in the way that it's become easier for you or for sellers to understand how customer discovers the product, how it researches, and how it buys your product on Amazon, right? So there can be reports which can be specifically based on the different ads which we discuss, right? Different ad types. For example, there can be a specific conversion metrics for the search ads. There can be a specific conversion metrics for the display ads. There will be definitely a specific data which will help you to understand your video ads performances and the emails and the social media ads, whatever you are running, as in whatever features they are going to provide, those things will be added in the report, which will help you at the end to understand how customers are discovering, researching, and buying your products.
So speaking of personalization, we've seen that Amazon has already released dynamic bidding strategies,
Right.
Placement strategies. Do you think it'll release something related to bidding moving forward?
So definitely, if you look at bidding, is the key factor which Amazon considers, because this is something which provide more dynamic options to the sellers to, let's say, bid up to 900%, right? So this is something which Amazon has recently released, and placement sites when they release the PAT thing, right, product attribute targetings. So definitely, we can see more control plus more features which can be rolled out in the bidding side. So something like, let's say, if you can stop the campaigns or the keywords which are not performing for you, or let's say the keywords for which your bid value reaches to this level and your conversions has reached to zero or to some percentage, right? So those particular keywords you can stop. So all of that can be done more in a real time. And the second thing which possibly will be roll out, that providing the notifications for all of these in the real time, right? So if your bid is changing, if your let's say Amazon has you have set up a campaign where you have set down and up by X percentage, right? So Amazon has a control that they can increase your bid to an X percentage. So, but as a seller, you want to understand that at what time your these bids are increasing, right? And what's the conversions look like. So definitely Amazon can provide a complete history of things when you are changing bids, right? So that you can go back and see that, okay, at this time at this season, or at this time, or at this hour, your bid is increasing by this percentage, and whether you are getting conversions or not, right? So all of these will definitely provided as a log to customers, which will fall under your campaign history or your advertisement history sections, which you can further analyze and do the optimization, and you can formulate your strategies based on that.
Interesting. If Amazon implements this, it probably could become second or first.
But this will be definitely will be a rollout which will be first among all of these what we discuss, as in maintaining the history, because now they are doing things dynamically, right? And that too at a 900%. So sellers or the person who is running the ads should have the right to understand what is working out for them, what is not.
Yep. Yeah. And obviously, like if Amazon releases this feature, then I think there'll be more and more sellers joining the platform, because one of the biggest points is to optimize PPC campaigns, right?
Right. And if you look at one interesting thing, so if you look at the campaign flows, right, campaign creation flow on Amazon, right? So there again, if you are running a manual campaign, if you put a keyword, you just get an option of putting it as in broad, right? So you don't get any further options to put it as in phrase or exact, right? And you cannot change the bids also. So if you are having a keyword X, and if you want to set a bid, let's say $Y, then definitely for a keyword, the same keyword, if you are putting as an exact, you want to change the bid. So those controls are not provided. So this is something which we were talking some time back with a couple of our sellers and a couple of the guys in the industry, that this is something which Amazon is definitely looking into and will release, that providing an option of having a different match types plus providing a different bids to the same campaign.
Yeah, yeah. For sure, it will revolutionize the whole ad platform.
Definitely. So if you look at this space is booming, right? So, and we all know that for Amazon, this is, as you rightly mentioned initially, that this is cash cow. So if we look at this space, definitely Amazon will focus and will invest more development and more attention, that how they can like make this to be the, I would say, the biggest ad platform, right?
So that was so interesting, Reg. We talked so much about personalization, diversification, reporting, and social targeting, chatbots, a lot of these interesting features that could possibly roll out. And I'm sure if Amazon ends up like rolling out all of these features in the next year or two, then it'll definitely revolutionize the whole ad platform, and it will be so much more convenient, and we'll expect to see a higher ROI on everybody's investment. So thank you so much. It was such an insightful
Right.
session again. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks. So objective of Amazon is to make Amazon a better ad place, right? So something around the same lines. We can definitely see these features rolling out in near future, but couple of them which are of high need, for example, history, you're providing a different bids to the same keyword. So these will be definitely rolled out sooner as compared to, let's say, chat-based supports and that system, or maybe a social targeting things, right?
Yeah, I agree to that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay,
excited
once
to
again,
see
well,
these features rolling out, and let's see how it pans out.
yeah, definitely. Fingers crossed. So
Yeah.
it was such a great session. I really enjoyed having this conversation with you. We have come to the end of this session today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks,
Do follow
Ankita.
us on Thanks, Brij. Do follow us on our social media channels to get more updates, and we have more sessions lined up with amazing speakers. So stay tuned, and until next time, thank you and goodbye.